Welcome students, this is your computer teacher and today we are going to continue from where we left off in the previous video. In this lecture, we will study about what anchor tag is, how we can link the web pages, how many types of linking are there, CSS and links, images and buttons as links. So without wasting much of your time, let's get straight to it. Now, first of all, the tag which is used to link various web pages is known as anchor tag and it is denoted by A. Now, as I told you while we started the HTML chapter that a website is a collection of web pages and using HTML we design web pages. Now, this is a very important part when we will move from web pages to websites because the anchor tag is the tag which helps us to create a website using different web pages. How we can do that we will study in this video. But to tell you that this A tag or anchor tag is used to link various web pages to each other. When all those web pages are interlinked with each other, it creates a website. Now, it creates a particular text or it can be an image or a button to link a particular page with a different web page or even a different website. So to study that we first have to know how many types of linking is there. There are basically two types of linking: internal linking and external linking. Now internal linking links the various parts of the same web page at a single particular point, whereas the external linking opens up a different web page when we click on the link. Now to show you the difference, let me straight away take you to a web browser and show you what internal linking is and what external linking is. Welcome to my web browser. Now here you can see I have opened up the Wikipedia page where I am searching about Mahatma Gandhi. Now if I scroll down you can see these are links. They're always blue in color by default, and whenever I take my mouse upon the links it will change the cursor into a hand with an index finger uplifted. So when I click on it, it will take me to the hyperlinked content. So when I click on it, let me suppose click on this link, you will realize that this will take me to the same part of the web page. Let me just click on this one on interreligious relations. When I click on it, it will take me to the interreligious relations part in the same web page. You can clearly see the web page is same. If I scroll up, you can see that is the very same page that I opened up. It's not a different page. You can clearly see from the address bar as well. It's the same. Once again, let me do it. Just note down what is the address bar. It's the Mahatma Gandhi's page. And when I click on awards, it will take me to the awards section which is present on the very same page. You can see it has been scrolled down to this point. When I take my scroller up, it's the very same page. This thing is called internal linking. Now details of how we can do it is not in our syllabus, but what internal linking is. So internal linking is a linking in which a different part of the same web page is linked on the very page we are using. So what is external linking now? Now in external linking, when you click on the link, it will open up a different web page. For example, when I click on this part or create account, you will see this page will be closed and a different page will open up on the screen. Now you see a different web page has been opened up. This is external linking. So now let me take you back to our notepad window and the web browser where we know and learn how we can apply external linking. So I again welcome everyone. Where I have on my screen is a notepad file where I will do HTML coding, and the same file has been opened up in a web browser where I will show you the output of it. So without wasting much of your time, let's start with how we can link various web pages and how we can use the anchor tag. First of all, as usual, we will start with HTML coding. HTML head. I'll close the head tag and then I'll close the HTML tag. Within the head tag, I'll apply title tag, which is optional, and I'll say links in the title. After the head tag, we all know it's the turn off body tag, and we have body tab closed here. Within the body tag, just for the sake of visuals, let me just apply BG color, and this time let it be cyan, and I'll save it, and let's refresh it here for the very first time, because as you all know, for the first time it will take a little bit of time, and we have the page to ourselves. We'll insert the heading H1. I'll close that tag. Linking in HTML. I'll again refresh it, and you all can see that we have a heading within our web page. Now it's time when we insert a link. Now, as I told you, to insert the links, we'll use anchor tag, and it is denoted by A. Now in this A tag, what I can do is I can give the link to a web page or another website in href attribute, just like the image tag had src. In anchor tag we have href, which in full form says hyperlink reference. So within the double quotes, I'll write down, let us suppose, www.google.com, and I'll close the A tag. So you can note it down, anchor tag is a container tag. So in this I will type the text that will appear on the screen on which we will click, and the following website will open. Let us suppose I'll write here, click to open Google. I save it and I refresh it here, and you see the link has appeared. Now by default, you know, all the links are blue in color and they are underlined. So when I click on it, as you can clearly see, the Google web page or google.com web page is opened up. So now what we can do is we can also link the various HTML pages that we have created. Now to do that, in href we'll type the address or the location of that very web page. It's just like how we inserted the src or source for image. We'll delete this, and here let's just open our HTML page again. I have used Ctrl+O shortcut key, and in the music folder I have the file placed. I'll enter the location here within the href attribute. So for that I'll have to go to the music folder. It's just like how we inserted the source of an image. So let me suppose add this particular web page and link it to that very page. That means this web page will be linked to this web page. So for that I have to open up the properties, right click on it and go to properties, and we'll have a location folder here, just like that. I'll copy from the location, I'll go here and paste it and use / and type the name of the file. Here the file name is, you can clearly see, demo image with I capital. So I'll write demo image and the extension as well, .html. I'll close this, I'll open up the web browser side by side, I'll save my notepad and HTML code file, and let's just right here click to open web page first, because it won't open up Google now. Let's write HTML web page. I save it and then I'll refresh the same on the web browser, where I will see the changes that I have made within this coding document. Now I'll click on it and you see my demo HTML page has opened up, just like that. Now, similarly, we can link many pages all together and create a website of all the web pages that we have created. So this is called external linking. External linking means when we click on the link and a new web page is opened up. Where I go back, it will take me back to the previous HTML web page. Simple as that. Now I'll tell you something a bit more interesting. Since we have added the text here, we can also add an image which will act as a link. Now if we want to insert the image that can act as a link, all I need to do is I have to replace this selected text with the image tag. Now you all know from previous lecture how we can insert the image tag. Now to do the same, all I need to do is I need to introduce image tag, and within the image tag I need to put src, and I need to give the source file, and I need to give the source location. So for that I'll again open up the image. Now let us suppose I want this image to be displayed on the web page, and once clicking on it, it will open up the web page that I have mentioned within the href attribute. Now again I'll go to the properties, right click, and going to the properties, I'll copy the location, and within the src I'll paste the location and use /. I'll again open up the properties window where I will see the file name, it's images, and extension is .jpg. So I'll type it here, images.jpg. Now since all my work is done, it will by default use the actual size of the image, since I have not mentioned height and width externally or exclusively. So when I snip it back, I'll close it and I'll open up the web page, I'll refresh it. What you will see is the image appearing. Now since it's not a normal image, I have applied the image. You can see within the anchor tag, this image is within the anchor tag. So once I click on the image, it will open up the web page, that is demoimage.html, just like that. So in this way we can use the image as a link. I hope it's clear. And yes, we can change the size, width, alignment of the image by applying the same using style attribute. As I told you in the previous lecture that image tag has to be inserted and can be inserted anywhere just like that. Whether it's a table, whether it's within the anchor tag or in a list. Simple as that. So next up is I'll show you how we can apply and modify the anchor tag using CSS. Now for that, let me just exclude the image from within, and let me just right click here to open. I'll resize it, refresh it again, and you see it is written here as click here to open. Now you see it's by default blue in color. If it's not visible, let me just change the background color to pink so that it will be visible. Or let me just remove it. So I have removed the background color, it's white in color, so that you can see the colors here on the screen for the links. And let me just change the web page's address. Let me just use another web page for the links, and its name is demoimage8d.html. I'll save it here and I click refresh. Now once I click on it, it will change to red in color, and then it will open up the web page. And once I go back and the page is again opened up, now it changes its color to purple. Earlier it was blue in color and now it is purple in color. So once the link is active, it is by default blue in color. Once it is clicked, it becomes red in color just for a moment, and once the page opens and we come back, it again changes its color. And there is one more style, that when we bring our mouse upon it, it does not change color right now, but we can. So there are 4 categories. Now we can change these colors using CSS. Now let's just resize it, and if I want to introduce the style tag, I will introduce the same within the head, that is internal CSS. After the title, I'll introduce style tag along with the type as CSS/text. I'll also close the style tag just to be safe in case any error occurs. Now I will apply all the appearance settings here. Now you have to note down one thing, that as I told you, there are 4 categories of colors. First is a link, which is a normal link that appears on the screen when we have not yet visited it. Second one is a visited link, that is a visited, which means the link that a user has visited. Third one is the hover, a hover. It is known as a link when the mouse is upon, or the mouse cursor is upon the link. And the fourth one is active, the link the moment it is clicked. In the previous example I showed you, once we click it, it changes to red color just for a moment. That is called active link. And how we can change the color of it? We can change it right here. So what we can do is we can simply write a colon link, and mind one thing, that you will have to apply these settings in this order only. First of all, you will apply link, then visited, then hover, and at last active. And if you want to skip any, you can, but the order will remain the same. A link, I'll change the color within the curly braces as, let us suppose I'll change it to red, color red. Now I'll use a visited curly braces. I'll change the color to yellow, a hoover. I'll change the color, let's say, to green, a visited. I think visited has been done. The last one is active. Let's change the color to purple. So once it's done, I have already closed the style tag. I'll save it, I'll resize it, and I'll refresh it here. Now you can clearly see the colors of the links have changed. It's yellow in color and I can clearly see it's hard to see it. So let us change the color here from yellow to, let us suppose, brown. I'll save it here and I'll refresh it over here, and we'll see the change in color. You can see it is brown in color now, and once I bring my mouse upon it, it changes to green as it is shown by the hover. Once I click on it, it changes to purple as an active link. You can see I have still pressed my left click, it is purple in color. And as I open it, it will open up the different web page, and now I go back to see that this is again back to brown as it was a visited link. So this is how we can use CSS to change the colors of the links. And now let me tell you how we can use this CSS colors to create a button and then apply the same effect. Now for that, what we can do is that within the CSS we can apply a background to this text. Now how we can do that, let me just show you. As I have given a link and a visited link here, let me just bring them together. I'll differentiate both of them using the commas, and then I'll give the background color, let us suppose background color, let us suppose it's red, and then I'll differentiate the two with the semicolon, and then let me just bring that color to blue. I can choose any color. So if I do that, it will be clearly visible. I'll bring the padding. Now padding means the difference between the wall of the background and the text. The difference is in pixels. So within the padding, I'll introduce 14 pixels from the top and 25 pixels from the sides. I'll give space in between, and then I'll use semicolon again. Now I want to align the text in center, so I'll use text align property, and I'll use center value. And the most important thing is I have to use one more property, which is display. Now this property is the main property that will convert a normal text background into a button. It's not actually a button, but it looks like a button. And the option is inline block. Now this option will help you to make a simple text look like a button. Now this is it. I have done all the styling here, and now I'll remove. If you want to have it, you can, but I don't need it because since it's a button, and once I refresh it, you can see this particular thing looks like a button. It's blue in color. We can change the color of the text. I think white will look much better. I'll put white here, and then let's just refresh it once again. This looks better. So once I click on it, it will again open up the web page that is linked. Now this is how we can use links as buttons, and this is it in today's lecture. I hope you all have understood what was there on display in this video. If you still have any doubts, you can reach out to me and I'll clear your doubts in the next live session. And until the next time, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.